As soon as your document has more than a page worth of text, you'll need to be attentive for how your document breaks across pages. For example, here we have a document where the heading and the text are separated by a page break. We'll deal with the issues around formatting for pages in the paragraph dialog box here in Word 2010. We have at the bottom of page 1, probationary period for new employees, the heading, and we want to read more, but we need to go to a new page to read it. That's a problem. I'm going to close up the space between the pages by simply pointing to the white space and double-clicking. You can undo that by clicking again, but that will make it easier to look at and work with this selection of text. So I wonder why the page broke right where it did. I'm going to click the dialog box launcher in the paragraph group, and you'll notice on the Line and Page Breaks tab that there's a setting that is turned on. The Widow-Orphan Control checkbox is enabled, as it is in every single version of Microsoft Word. Now, I didn't choose these words, but I'll describe them to you. Let's turn Widow and Orphan Control off and say OK. When I close the dialog box, you'll notice that we have one line on the top of page 2. This line would be called an orphan, a single line at the top of a page that's part of a larger paragraph. If there was only one line on the bottom of a page that's part of a larger paragraph, we'd have what was called a widow. And an overriding setting for documents in Word 2010 is that we won't leave single lines that are part of a larger paragraph, widows at the bottom of a page, or orphans at the top of the next page. So that's how we have this document where we have a break between the heading and between the paragraph that heading describes. There are some other controls that we can use that are specific not to the whole document, but to one section of text that will allow us to make some changes on how this document breaks across the page. Let's select both the heading and the text that follows, and let's click the dialog box launcher and open the paragraph dialog box. First, we're going to turn Widow and Orphan Control back on because it's on by default for our entire document, but it's the next 3 checkboxes that I'd like to look at. First, let's look at Keep Lines Together. Keep Lines Together addresses lines within a paragraph. So if I have a paragraph selected or more than one paragraph selected, choosing Keep Lines Together says you can break between the paragraphs, but you can't break the paragraphs apart. So in our case, this text that was originally on page 2 will go back to page 2, but the probationary period for new employees heading will remain on page 1. If I want to be able to keep this block of text together, you might think that we would choose Keep Lines Together, but no, we choose Keep with Next. Keep with Next controls paragraphs. So by saying Keep with Next, we're saying all this text selected, treat it as one block. Keep probationary period for new employees with the next paragraph that we have selected. If I want to be safe and sure and I can't remember the difference, it never hurts for me to turn both of these checkboxes on. And finally, if I'm in a place in a document where I'm thinking I'd like these things together and they really should start a new page, then I can also turn on Page Break Before and force a page break wherever I am on the page. So now with Keep with Next, which controls paragraphs, and Keep Lines Together, which controls lines within paragraphs, both selected, I'm going to click OK, and notice that my page break now occurs prior to this heading. Anytime you need to control the page breaks within your document in Microsoft Word, don't forget it's not a control here in the paragraph group, but it's only one click away in the paragraph dialog box.